Good afternoon and Happy New Year. I haven't been on video in so long, but I've been marinating and thinking about things, so there are good future things coming in a couple of months from Sow the Seed. But I wanted to get on here for a minute and just talk about the importance of the upcoming election, the primary that is happening on February 29th here in South Carolina. So once again, that's February 29th. The polls will be open from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. It is very, very important that we get out and vote and make sure our voices are heard as we decide who will be the Democratic nomination for president for 2020 to go up against number 45. So I just wanted to just put that out there. There's going to be a lot of events happening in the Low Country. There will be a presidential debate happening. I want to say the 25th of this month. There will be Chris Hayes from All In, which is a new show on MSNBC. He will be here the 26th and the 27th. Here talking to South Carolinians and then having his show happen here in the Low Country. I'm going to the debate on the 25th, hopefully, and then there's also a debate after party after I guess where we discuss and rehash what was said and things like that. But there are several people running for president right now, still on the Democratic ticket. Of course, my favorite person has stepped down, Andrew Yang. I think he is still a phenomenal candidate for those in poverty and those that need $1,000 every month. So I'm hoping that he will be here back in the race in 2024. So I'm excited about that and hopeful that he will run again in 2024. But who do we have left? We have Biden, we have Bloomberg. He's late to the show, but he may or may not be on the ballot in South Carolina. But I think you can write him in if you'd like. He's the former mayor of New York City, and he's getting a lot of press right now, not positive press in the African American community, of course. But he has that same grit. I think New York versus New York might be the only way we can win, and let the two of them tear each other down. Because to be honest with you, there are no winners in politics. Let's just put that out there. There are no winners. Politicians are, personally to me, they are the individuals who need to be committed. They're crazy as crazy as hell, but will never be committed. That's politics for you. Biden is our former vice presidential candidate. He's starting to show some wear and tear. I think this might not have been his best time to jump into the race this particular time. I think too much has passed now. He's not in his prime. And this is not from an age standpoint, but just in terms of policy and where he is, and he just seems like he's out of touch in terms of how he's come across. But I will support anybody. As they say now, is vote blue, no matter who. That's the philosophy now. And let's see, there's Amy Klobuchar, but I really think that she does not have the traction that she needs. She should have been already in the communities of color already well before now, and in order to have some traction. Pete Buttigieg, still a very smart guy. I think that he will be around again in future cycles. So I don't think this is the end all be all of Mayor Pete. So I would vote for him years from now. I just think he's a little too young, too wet around the or has milk still on his top lip, let's put it that way. I think he's only 38 years old. Not that you couldn't leave the free world at 38, but I would give him a little more time to marinate. And then there's Warren. She's good as well as Bernie Sanders. Both of them are running progressive campaigns, and so they want to bring forth a lot of change. I unfortunately believe with that change is going to come a lot of blockage from the other party, and so it really is like, okay, yes, you're saying some great things, but can it really happen? Which is, I think, also why Andrew Yang had to step out, is because he's a little ahead of his time with the policies. We will eventually get to UBI, no doubt. But it might have been too early, but I'm so glad that he was in the race, because he was bringing that conversation that needs to happen into the fold. And I think that's what's unfortunately going to happen to Bernie and Warren, is that they are talking about things that the Republicans are not going to let happen. And let's see, is there anybody else? Tom Steyer, he's making inroads in the community as well. He's pretty much, we didn't know who he was, but we know he is rich, and that's about it about him. But it sounds like he's got some good policies. So right now I don't know who I'm going to put down on my ballot, February 29th, but I do know that I am going to vote. And I encourage everyone else to vote. Please, 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 if you need a ride to the poll, or you need absentee ballot information, or how to get an absentee ballot, I don't need to fill out your absentee ballot, but if you need any of those things, please reach out to us at sowtheseedchs@gmail.com. That's sowtheseedchs@gmail.com, or you can direct message through the Facebook app, so that we can make sure that everybody has a way to get to the polls on February 29th. The Heart Walk is happening that morning. Please go out and support that from 8 until noon, but vote before you go, or vote after the walk. But definitely don't fail to vote. Everything is riding on this election. We are going to make a historical difference this year with the election. Okay, so we have to make change. There's a lot of things are riding on it. You've got a Supreme Court nomination. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg, she cannot last forever. I'm not trying to call anything out, claim anything. We hope that she's going to make it for the next 4 years, but we cannot take that big a chance. If they get one more nomination on that Supreme Court, it is done in terms of women's reproductive rights. That's just a fact. Let's see what else is out there. Cuts to our safety net programs. That's guaranteed. He's already talked about it in Switzerland just this year. It didn't get a lot of press coverage, but yes, he wants to make cuts to SNAP, to Medicaid, all of those, or Medicare, all of those programs he wants to make cuts to. He wants to increase the defense programs, but he does not want to invest in his people, inside the country, and things like that. So if you want more corruption, then stay home. But if you don't want more corruption, get out and vote. If you're not registered to vote, and so you're going to miss the primary in February, definitely get registered to vote before October. Okay? If you know that you will be 18 by November, that means you can register now. Okay, you do not have to wait until after your birthday to register to vote. If you know that you will be 18 as of November 3rd or 6th, whatever the day the election is, you can still register to vote. Okay, as long as you're going to be 18 by the day of the election, you can go ahead and register to vote. And that usually can happen at your county voter registration office. If you are receiving any forms of public assistance, SNAP, Medicaid, all of those kinds of things, you can go to your public assistance offices and fill out the application. Okay, if you are not receiving any of those, but you live by, or that's the closest office to you to get to, go there and ask them for a voter registration form. They have to have them on site at any public service organization, government public service organization. Okay, everything counts and everything matters now, and they will matter until the Lord calls you home. So please don't be a one-time voter. Be a conscientious voter, letting your voice be heard on your county level, your city level, your town level, your state level. Do not sit home and not have your voice heard. Do not take for granted these people will always act in your best interest. Now that we have social media, we have the internet and things like that, you can go and research these issues. You can figure out how they feel about those issues, and if you have concerns about how they are voting, then you can bring it to their attention. You can get on their Facebook page, you can get on their Instagram, all of those kinds of things, and voice your opinion. It takes all of 2 minutes to send them a nasty gram and say, hey, don't do that, and things like that, and let it be heard. Other people will see your messages. They might piggyback off of your response and things like that, and then that legislator knows, hey, this is not going to fly in my county. But if we're not paying attention, they will let things slide right on by.